What is the strongest force in your world, and the two ways to harness that power? So, the strongest force in the human personality is the need to stay consistent with how we define ourselves. And how we define ourselves is wrapped up within our identity. So, what is identity? Identity is a feeling of certainty or a belief about ourselves. See, there's broken up into two categories. A belief is usually how the world works, the rules in which the world operates, and then those things focused on us is our identity. So when you feel certain about something about yourself, your subconscious goes to work. It's going to fulfill whatever it is you believe, because our mind tries to never be out of sync with what it is you believe. For example, if you believe you're not good enough, you're going to find opportunities to not be good enough. Versus if you believe you're always in a mode of success, you're going to find ways to be resourceful. Which, if you're ever having a goal and you meet resistance, that means you are pushing the bounds of something in your identity. And a lot of times that's a good thing, right? That means we're growing, that means we're expanding. But it also means if we don't deal with those resistances, it can also hold us back. For example, if you believe you are a smoker and you're trying to quit, it's going to be very difficult to quit smoking. But if you can change your identity from I'm a smoker to I've quit smoking, or I want to be healthy, I'm a healthy person, then it's much easier to quit smoking because then your mind's not trying to hold on to that any longer. So there's two strategies to help kind of get your identity to shift. One of those is asking the right questions. There's 4 questions, and they might sound a little funky, but if you really dive deep into the questions, you can really expand your awareness and then change your identity. So those 4 questions are, what would happen if you did change? What would happen if you didn't change? What wouldn't happen if you did change? And what wouldn't happen if you didn't change? Now, I know those questions may sound a little strange, but if you really kind of dig in, really think about all the repercussions of doing and not doing whatever it is you're trying to achieve. See, the mind operates really in 2 modes, either pain, seeking pleasure, or avoiding pain. And if we can fuel our subconscious to really attach to the pleasure and the pain, either avoidance in the case of pain or seeking in the case of pleasure, we can help shift a little bit. So dive deep into those questions. Whatever your goal is, let's say it's smoking. You want to quit smoking. So you'd say, what wouldn't happen, or what would happen if I did quit smoking? Extrapolate that out. You maybe get healthier. You might be able to see your grandkids, and yada, yada, yada. And then what wouldn't happen? And then continue on with all 4 questions. The number 2 strategy is figure out if you're pleasure-focused, running towards something, or pain-focused, running away from something. If you're pleasure-focused, create your perfect day. Imagine a point somewhere in the future that everything was absolutely perfect. Your routine, your people that you're surrounded by, the amount of money you're making, the right house that you're living in, what country you're living in, everything. Imagine from end to end a perfect day. See, when we can really concretely imagine what we really want, the mind starts figuring out ways to go get it. Create a vision board. It's kind of like the perfect day, but in a different aspect. It's more about the things that we want in life, the way we want to operate, the way we want to look, the way we want to speak. For example, if you want to be more like Dale Carnegie, how can you maybe go read Napoleon Hill, for example? Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie. Or Napoleon's Hill, Think and Grow Rich. If you want to emulate one of those characters, go read their book. Find out what they like, what they don't like, and put that up on their vision board. And then write down your goals and schedule them. If you have well-defined goals, a path forward of where you're headed, and then time bind it by scheduling it. What is the first step? What is the second step? Break it into little chunks. Then your mind starts figuring out ways to accomplish those things. So if you're pain focused or pain avoidance, imagine 5 years down the road without having made that change. All the little trickle effects of not having changed. I mean, really attach to that. Step into that moment and really feel what you would feel 5 years from now. And then imagine yourself 5 years from that. So it's 10 years in the future. Haven't made any changes, haven't made any progress. Things are degrading, and you feel that pressure and that tension and all those emotions running through you. And then take it one step further. Go 20 years into the future, 50 years in the future. You're on your deathbed, looking back at your life, never making any of those changes. And really feel all of those emotions, all those things that didn't go your way. And that can then turn into the power. Flip it then. Go back. Tell yourself, your past self, which is currently your current self, all of those things. Translate those emotions and then make the change. Make those changes that would avoid all of those pain, all of those travesties in your life that you could have avoided. And then bring it all back to the present. And then fuel yourself with all of those emotions to push forward. See, if we're pleasure focused or pain focused, it's okay to be a little bit of both too. Either way, there's always a strategy to help push ourselves to make those changes, to update our identity to whatever it is we want. I hope this helps with you. If it's a little bit confusing, it's okay. Watch it a couple times. And if you want to dive deeper, maybe do a one-on-one session with me, I'd be happy to work with you. Send me a message, and we'll see you on the other side.